Jackson says, I have a good credit score around 750, but my wife currently has a very low credit score, somewhere around the mid 300s, and we want to buy a house in the next 5 years or so. This low credit score is due to some old debt, about $2,000 or $3,000 that she had let sit and go to collections over the last few years from a year that she was in community college. She's never had a credit card, and the majority of her credit history are those debts plus rent payments for apartments. What is the best way for her to raise her credit score from the mid 300s, hopefully closer to 600 or 700 over the next several years, so we can secure a loan without too high of an interest rate? Robert, you want to kick this one off?
Jackson, this is a pretty easy fix. You've got time because you're not in a rush. And the main thing I would say in the simplest way would be to go get a guaranteed credit card. She has to rebuild her credit and she's got to start somewhere. And a guaranteed credit card to me is the easiest way to start building credit. All it means, you go to your local bank or credit union. I want a guaranteed credit card. You hand them $400, $500, then you have that for your credit limit, and you're using your money to guarantee that you pay on this credit card. You make sure you make the payments on this credit card. You make sure you keep them very low balance or pay it off every single month. You make sure you make the payments on time, and that will be the easiest and quickest way to build credit. But then along the way, as you get the credit score up so you can qualify for other credit offerings, then you could add some additional credit cards, maybe a points card, maybe a card you could use for groceries and gas. But in the interim, she just needs to get that credit score up to 600. And I would start with the guaranteed credit card as the easiest and best way that I know of to build credit quickly.
And I think when you say guaranteed credit card, you're talking about a secured credit card?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm right there with you. That's what I did. I think you guys know this story. Whenever I graduated college, I had no credit history. I was 22, never had a credit card. My parents never really taught me about credit. And so I went to, my friend Chris was like, hey man, I just got this cool Amazon Prime credit card, 5% cash back on Amazon. You should apply for it. It's for students. And I was like, I'm a student. I'll apply for it. I got denied. The reason I got denied is because I didn't have any credit. And so then I did a little bit of research to what Robert was alluding to here. And I went and opened a secured credit card from Bank of Tennessee. It's the bank I bank at. And I was able to, give them I think it was $300 or $500 as my guarantee. And I was able to borrow against that. And I put a tank of gas on it every single month. I let the billing cycle go through, get that reported to the credit bureaus. And then I paid it off and then had the payoff then get reported to the credit bureau. So remember, there's a whole sort of process here as it relates to building your credit score. We did an episode here, episode 114. It's titled Swipe Smart Using Credit Cards Without the Debt. Highly, highly recommend, Jackson, you guys going back and listening to episode 114. We walk through all the specific nuances as it relates to the billing cycle, the statement date, the balance, all the things to understand and master credit card usage. But beyond that, I wonder if there's a world where your wife can just get a $500 or $1,000 personal loan at even a 10% interest rate, doesn't really matter, and she pays it off, right? She just get the loan to pay it back and really have some true credit history now of positive payments. Doing that for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I'd be very surprised if your wife isn't in the, call it 600 or 700 range, depending on now if she has actually closed the accounts with some of this old debt. You want to make sure that is taken care of, right? Either go pay off the $2,000 or $3,000 debt from this community college, settle with the collections agency, do whatever, but you have to close that account. Without that account closed, you're going to have a hard time moving on from it, right? It's always going to be this black eye essentially on your credit report.
To add to that and piggyback, make sure when you do settle these debts that you request by settling them that they are settled and removed from your credit score, because the sooner you can get those bad debts removed from your credit bureau, the better off you're going to be for the future and building that credit score. I know it's work. I know it sounds daunting, but this is something you guys can knock out over the next couple of years, get her back on track, and just keep her there and make sure we keep that credit score up.
And with that being said, shout out to you guys for wanting to buy a house soon. Quick shout out to Robert here, who co-founded Equifunds Group. If any of you guys are trying to go get a mortgage or buy a house, they are backed by Supreme Lending, one of the largest lenders in America. There'll be a link in the show notes below to go check out equifundsgroup.com. It's Robert's mortgage company. You guys should definitely go check that out. It's a pretty simple way to get a mortgage.
Definitely. Thank you for that. Yeah, reach out to Lance. He's incredible. He'll take good care of you. Even if you're just trying to get pre-approvals or figure out any refinances or anything like that, just reach out to Lance.